Along came a skier, fresh from off the slope, and he's the one that ruined me and shattered all my hopes. Singing 90 pounds of rucksack, a pound of grub or two.
Trying to fire a rifle when you're on skis was almost impossible. It was mainly that we were trained to live in the cold. I joined the Army in fall of '42. They were forming a ski troops. At that time, it was just the 87th Mountain Infantry, which I joined. You didn't actually join the Army, you went through the National Ski Patrol because they had more experience to what qualifications were required to fight in the cold and on skis. We trained in the wintertime at Camp Hale, which was difficult because it was snow and the cold. The training was mostly being in the mountains, just camping out and learning how to live in the cold and the snow and the freezing weather. We went to the Aleutian Islands, and at that time there were two islands that the Japanese had invaded. The first one was Attu, which was the furthest west of the islands. It was a small island, and about 60 miles east of Attu was Kiska. 7th Division and landed on Attu, and they were just a flat land troop, I think, from Texas. It was a disaster. They were not trained for the cold and wet weather. They planned on taking Attu in about 3 or 4 days, and it took them about 2 months to do it. So that was one reason why we were going to invade Kiska. It was interesting because the Japanese had pulled off the island just 2 or 3 days before, and so we invaded and intending to fight with them. Luckily they were gone. At that time, the regiment had been formed into a division to the 10th Mountain Division, which included the 87th, 86th, and 85th Infantry. When we went in, it was pretty much a big ski club. A lot of the very prominent skiers and also miners and people that had worked in the mountains. They were starting to have trouble in Italy when they got up into the mountains, into the Apennines. The Germans had fortified the Apennines. They were about 15 miles deep with their fortifications. So there had been 2 attempts to break through the line, and both of them had failed, so they sent us in there. We were able to break through the German line into the Po Valley. Casualty rate was pretty high. In our company of 200 men, we had 147 casualties, wounded or killed, which was one of the highest rates during the war. In the summer of '45, the war was over. We were headed for Japan. Luckily, we were halfway across the Atlantic Ocean when they dropped the bomb. We knew that the war was going to be over at that time. I went to work for a little lumber company in Vermont. From there, I decided I should go to college. I had planned on going to college anyhow. So I went to school at the University of Alaska. That was when I climbed McKinley. I believe that everybody should serve if they were physically able. There's only one time you'd be in the service, and especially if they were fighting a war.